is going to be on 2 and 3 witnesses, or the importance of witnesses. So this lesson is going to start in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19. And we're going to read from verse 15 to 21. Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15 to 21. And it reads, "One witness shall not raise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall a matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man that testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahweh, before the priest and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness is a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, and life, let me read that again. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot." So, Brother Azariah, Brother Kana, it says here in verse 15, "One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth, that at the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established." Now I know the 3 of us heard just yesterday that it was said that there's a provision for if there is not 2 witnesses. So if someone steal and there's no witnesses, he shall not go unpunished, and so forth. So having read this, what do you have to say about this?
Well, but it's very funny, when a situation arises, how we circle around the truth. They better know of this, but they still find a way how to go on, and that's how the enemy works. He always find a way how to manipulate or show something different, which is maybe close, but it's not. Close is not. The word, it says it right there, verse 15. Not one cannot establish anything. Maybe 2 and 3, or 2 and 3, not maybe, but 2 and 3, yes. But it's clearly stated right there, brother. So, this is not a rocket science. This is not anything out of the ordinary. Even a child could understand this. So I don't see how, as I said, the enemy is busy, very busy. That's all right. Over to you, brother.
You got any words, Azariah, or shall we go on?
Uh, Not much to say. I believe it is self-explanatory, and there are other supporting precepts that we see in the
Uh,
scriptures. I won't
we,
preempt you.
we are going to actually stop at verse 15, and then we're going to go on to some precepts from this verse 15. Um, So I just offered you guys a word in into what this 15 says. So, what do you mean? Did the wrong thing there, or right thing I did. So we're going to go back to Deuteronomy chapter 17. And we're going to read from verse 1 all the way down to verse 7. And if you guys hear any noise, like music and that kind of stuff, next door there's actually some work going on. As you know, everyone around me does not care or keep a Sabbath, care about or keeping a Sabbath. So there's some work going on next door, and I just heard them crank up some music. So Deuteronomy chapter 17, reading from verse 1 to 7. And it reads, "Thou shalt not sacrifice," give me 1 second. Yes. "Thou shalt not sacrifice unto Yahweh thy Elohim any bullock or sheep, wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto Yahweh thy Elohim. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee, man or woman that have wrought wickedness in the sight of Yahweh thy Elohim, in transgressing his covenant, and have gone and served other gods, and worship them, either the sun or moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded." Verse 4. "And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel." Verse 5. "Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die." Verse 6. "At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people, so thou shalt put the evil from among you." So again, verse 6 says, "At the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses." Let me read it properly. "At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death." So here again it's telling you 1 witness is not sufficient to put a person to death. It has to be of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. So we're going to go to Numbers chapter 35. I'm going to read verse 30. Numbers chapter 5, excuse me, and verse 30. And it reads, "Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But 1 witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die." So brothers, is this not a contradiction of what we heard yesterday? Read it again, verse 30. Whosoever, and let me add this. This is no lesson that I prepared recently. This is a lesson I actually did before in the congregation many months ago. So this is not, I am actually here in my book, just doing it as I did it before. So this is nothing that I just prepared. So verse 30 again, and it says, whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. So one witness cannot testify and cause not even a man who actually killed a person, and there's only one witness, that man, although he is a murderer, in the sight of the Most High, one witness is not enough to put this man to death. You guys with me so far?
Yeah, man,
Yes,
I'm hearing you.
yes, brother.
So we're going to go now to Matthew chapter 18. And we're going to read verse 15 and 16. This is Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 and 16. And it reads, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. So here, this is what they call the New Testament. But yet still, this law is still here. We are told to take 2 or 3 others that could witness, because out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. And we still see this present. Let's go further into what they call the New Testament. Let's see what Paul has to say. This is 2 Corinthians. Second. So 2 Corinthians chapter 13. And right here at the beginning, it says, this is the third time I... Wait a second. Sorry. Right. 2 Corinthians 13. This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. Paul is here quoting from the law. This is after Yeshua had died, resurrected, and gone back to the Father, where he is today. And Paul is still telling you about these 2 and 3 witnesses. This has not changed. So Paul himself, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, shall every word be established. So before we go on to verse 16 in the same Deuteronomy 19, you brothers have anything to say? Well, that was just the verse 15 that we precept. So anything to say, brothers?
No, brother, just the precept and precept is, really establishing more. So, yeah.
Say that again, Azariah. We didn't hear you.
No, I'm saying I don't have anything to add. I don't have anything to say right now.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
So we're going to go to Deuteronomy 19, excuse me, and we're going to go back to verse 16. So actually, read from 15 and go all the way down to 19. So 15, it says, one witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of three witnesses, shall a matter be established. Verse 16. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahweh, before the priest and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witnesses be a false witness, if the witnesses be false witnesses, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother, so shalt thou put the evil away from among you. Excuse me. So we are going to go now to Exodus. We're going to precept this, and we're going to go to Exodus chapter, come on, Exodus chapter 23. And we're going to read verses 6 and 7, because it's stated about false witness. So Exodus chapter 23, Exodus chapter 23, verse 6 and 7, and it reads, Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his case. Verse 7, keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. So here is a commandment. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of the poor in his case. Verse 7, keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. So this is why there's a problem with false witnesses. They are actually breaking the law that was given when you go and witness against your brother falsely, and you will not be justified. You will be punished for such an act. So we're going to go back to Exodus chapter 20 and verse 16. As we know, this is what they call the famous 10 Commandments. So verse 16, it says, Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. So here is the clear commandment. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy brother. Thy neighbor, sorry. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. So we read from the wisdom chapters a couple minutes ago. We're going to go right back there now into Proverbs chapter 6. And we're going to read 16 to 19. It's Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 to 19. And it reads, These 6 things doth Yahweh hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. 19. A false witness that seeketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. So these are 6 things that Yahweh hates. And verse 19 tells us, a false witness that spreadeth lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. And again, I think this is pretty much self-explanatory. So we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 19 now. Proverbs chapter 19, and we're going to read from verse 5 unto 9. Proverbs 19, 5 to 9. And it reads, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. All the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go from him? He pursueth them with words, yet they are wanting to him. Verse 8. He that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good. Verse 9. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that spreadeth lies shall perish. We just saw that earlier as well. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. So we're going to go back to Deuteronomy. Chapter 19. And we are going to read verse 20 and get the precepts from verse 20. So Deuteronomy 19 and verse 20, and it reads, and those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. I'll read that again. And those, excuse me. Give me 1 second, guys. Right. So verse 20. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. So we're still talking about the false witnesses. So he's saying that when you do punish this false witness, as we read earlier, verse 18, and the judges shall make diligent inquest, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, 19, then shall ye do unto him as he hath thought to be have done unto his brother. So shall thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. So let's go to the precepts, and we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 13. We get some examples, or as we call, some precepts. So verse 6, Deuteronomy chapter 13, reading from verse 6. And it reads, if thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul entice thee secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which thou have not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely the gods of the people which are around about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Verse 8, Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eyes pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt utterly kill him. Thine hands shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people. Verse 10, And thou shalt stone him with stones, that he die, because he have sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And verse 11, And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. So here's an example where, but this one is not to the witnesses. This was a thought better to be a man or woman who turns and tries to get you to worship other gods and to turn from the Most High. Now it says you are to kill him, but of course we know there is a process, and the witnesses do apply here as well. And he is killed for an example, so that all Israel will not do such a wicked thing, to remove that wicked from among them. Excuse me. So let's go to 17. Verse 7, chapter 17, sorry. It's Deuteronomy chapter 17, and we're going to read 12 and 13. Deuteronomy 17, verse 12. And the man that will do presumptuously, and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister therefore before Yahweh thy Elohim, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. So another example, this person is being put to death, and all Israel shall hear and fear because of the punishment that is handed out here. It is an example to all Israel. Deuteronomy chapter 21, and we're going to read from verse 18 to 21. So Deuteronomy 21, 18 to 21. And it reads, If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother, and that, when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. 19. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. Verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, of his city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. So this is another example of someone who is transgressing and they are put to death, and it shall drive fear in all the people that they shall not commit this sin. Well, I got one question for you, brothers. One question for you two brothers, or even one, whoever answers. So it says, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Who are the witnesses in this case? Because this young man is put to death.
Aaron.
Precisely, his mother and his father. So it was not just one witness, it was 2. His mother and his father. His parents were the witnesses against him. So the law also states that the witnesses shall cast the first stone. So is it safe to say then that these parents began the stoning of their son?
Yes, sir.
Well, verse 21 tells us exactly who is to be the stone. So it might be his father.
21 says, and all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he die. And so shall thou put away from among you all the evil. But we read in the law earlier that the witnesses must cast the first stone, and then all the men then will stone you. But where is it? All right, we're going to go back up to that.
No, it's okay, Elias, because I remember, you're right.
Yeah.
It's the witnesses first, and then the rest of the
people. Then the rest of the people. Correct.
Yeah, man, you're perfectly right.
So that was Deuteronomy 21. So let's go back to 19 and let's finish this off. So Deuteronomy 19 and 21. The last verse of Deuteronomy chapter 19. And it reads, and thy eyes shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, and hand for hand, foot for foot. So let's go back up to this same chapter from verse 11. This is Deuteronomy chapter 19. We're going to read 11 to 13. And it reads, if thou shalt keep all those commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love Yahweh thy Elohim, and to walk even in his ways. Yes.
Excuse me, Elias. Where are you reading from?
Oh, sorry, I read in 9. I read the wrong verse, sorry. 19, Deuteronomy 19 from 11 to 13 is what you should be reading. I was reading verse 9. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. So verse 11. But if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him and rise up against him and smite him mortally that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities. Verse 12. Then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Verse 13. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. So no eye shall pity him. So we're going to continue this in Exodus, but then we have one more after this. Exodus chapter 21. And we're going to read from 22 to 25. Exodus 21, 22 to to 25. And it reads, if men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. Verse 23. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life. Verse 24. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. So we see here, verse 22, if men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her. So if two men are fighting and they strike a pregnant woman, that she loses her child, she has a miscarriage, is what this is saying. And yet no mischief follow, so no result or no things follow. He shall be surely punished according as the woman's husband will lay upon him. So the woman's husband is going to pick this punishment, and he shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, and tooth for tooth. So we got to say about this one, Azariah, or in terms of your breakdown of this.
There's two scenarios, right? So in verse 14, if two men strive and hurt a woman, with fruit depart from her. It's speaking about a premature birth. In verse 22, right? So they may hit her, her baby comes before the appointed time. So it's saying that that her fruit depart from her, yet no mischief follow. So if she delivers her baby prematurely, but there is no harm to the child, he shall be surely punished according as the woman's husband will lay upon him. So if he causes her to lose the child prematurely, the woman's husband will determine what charge to levy upon those who hurt his wife and cause this child to come before time. As a woman's husband will lay upon him, he shall pay as the judges determine. Then verse 23, if any mischief follows. So if her baby comes prematurely, but let's say that because of the blow, the baby may have broken a hand, they may have broken the baby's back, or they may have killed the baby. Whatever may have happened to the child. So if any harm comes to the child, so when it says if any mischief follow, the Hebrew word behind mischief, there is any harm. If any harm follows after the baby is born prematurely, then you shall give life a life. So if the baby is dead, the scriptures tell us that if a man kills another man, by a man's hand shall his blood be shed. I think that's Genesis 9 and verse 6, which is the law that the Most High gave to Noah when he came out of the ark. Verse 24 says, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So it's just saying that whatever harm, so if the baby doesn't die, but there's some other injury to the child, whatever injury the child has, the judgment is that the man who caused the injury, the same must be done to him as he caused to have been done to the child. That's my understanding of it.
All praise to the Most High, brother. This is why we are all here, because we are all learning. So I thank you for that breakdown. So last scripture will be Leviticus. We're going into Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 24. We're going to read verse 17 to 22. So Leviticus 24, verse 17 to 22, and it reads, And he that killeth any man shall surely be put to death, and he that killeth a beast shall make a good beast for a beast. And if a man cause a blemish in his neighbor, as he have done, so shall it be done to him. Breach for breach, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he have caused a blemish in a man, so shall it be done to him again. Verse 21. And he that killeth a beast, he shall restore it. And he that killeth a man, he shall be put to death. Verse 22. Ye shall have no, sorry, read again. Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country. For I am Yahweh your Elohim. I read 22 again. Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country. For I am Yahweh your Elohim. So seeing this is the last one, Azariah 22. What is your take on 22? Verse 22. When it says, as ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country. What is your take on that?
Hold on a minute. Just a minute.
Now you could go as well as too, with the brother.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. If you could hear me clearly about verse 22, you shall have one manner of law as well for the stranger as for one of your own country. Say your own countryman, for I am your Elohim. So one of your own brother. The same law for Israel is the same for anyone out there that who is not Israelite. So whatever it is that it's one law, so it doesn't matter who it is. There's no other law for any other nation. It's the same law. It's one Elohim. So that's what I really get from it. It's just the same law for everybody. There's no difference in anything that we do today.
Are you ready, Azariah?
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
So looking back from verse 16, right? Leviticus 24 and 16, right? That stranger again in verse 16 and in verse 22 is the age 16 stranger again. That age 16 stranger, it can be an Israelite from the diaspora, or it can be somebody from another nation that lives in the land. So whether it be an Israelite who is under the covenant but lives in the diaspora that comes into the land like to observe the holy days, this law applies to him, right? If it is somebody from another nation who also lives in the land, the law applies to him. So the law is the law of the land of Israel. Whoever comes in there, this law applies to them. Whether
So,
it is one that is homeborn or a stranger that comes into the land, this law applies.
thank you. So the point I'm trying to get here. So if I take someone who is not an Israelite's animal and I kill it, this law applies as well. Does it?
Yes.
All praise to the Most High. So that is the last of the scriptures on this lesson. So it started with the 2 or 3 witnesses, and then it went down to the punishment that is handed out for the violations. So all praise to the Most High. Let me just end the recording here.